Well, hello and welcome back to what feels like day 3,009,078 of social distancing coronavirus quarantine. And we're in New Jersey, and I know a lot of other states in the country are kind of loosening up on their social distancing or quarantine, but we still are under lockdown. And I know that our past two videos were, I guess, slightly heavy with the jambalaya and the carnitas tacos. I would feel that some of you also might want to see something healthy on the channel. I know that we've really been thinking about our health and how we've been eating. So we've been doing a lot more salads, which made me think maybe we should show people our favorite salads. I know some of you still are looking to comfort food right now, but if you do want to eat healthy, I know that I never was a fan of salads before I met Mr. Smith. I just didn't feel like they filled me up. I didn't feel like they satisfied me. I didn't feel like they hit the spot. But I think that Mr. Smith's chef skills as far as things to put together really have made salads more appealing for me, and I'll tell you exactly why when I show you guys my salad. I also thought it was important to mention that the two salads we're showing are not vegan or vegetarian. For me personally, I feel like meat protein makes me feel fuller longer, but if you did want to make this vegetarian, you could possibly do like eggs for a protein or even tofu if you like that, but we're going to add chicken and salmon today. Also, we are going to answer a handful of questions from our Instagram Well-Fed Girlfriend that we received last week. So I was mentioning that Mr. Smith has built salads for me that really use a lot of components that make it more interesting. So as an example, my salad is kind of the perfect harmony of those. So like I said, protein, which we're going to use chicken that's already been seasoned. If you have a family that is multiple members, it's just Mr. Smith and I here at home, you could do a rotisserie chicken and buy that at the beginning of the week and either shred it so that way it's ready to go in a Tupperware and you can build these salads every time you feel like it, or you can do chicken breast and then just warm it up and slice it depending on if you like cold or hot chicken. And then we're gonna do organic spinach because that's my favorite green. I kind of go between that and arugula. Really important that you get organic greens because they're very prone to having pesticides that are really common on them. And then if you eat a lot, especially in fruits and vegetables that don't have like a protective coating, like oranges and such, you really will build that up in your system. So spinach as the base. And then a sweet element, which for me is dried cranberries. If you want to be a little bit healthier, you can get the kind where they don't add sugar. And then I always add blue cheese. It's my favorite cheese. I know some of you guys don't really like blue cheese, but it's something that's like tart and salty for me, which I like in the salad. And then always a crunch. We have whole almonds, but I prefer slivered or sliced. But almonds are nice because they give you texture in a salad, which is a super common thing for chefs to do within a meal, is make texture so that way you're not just eating like an entirely soft meal. Like I said, I'll add my chicken. And then also my favorite dressing, maybe super boring, but also another element that's important is lemon vinaigrette on a salad adds that tartness. So with the sweets of the cranberries, the salty of the blue cheese, the crunch of the almonds, and lemon vinaigrette makes it well-rounded. The only thing that's in here is fresh lemon juice, a little bit of mustard, and then also olive oil, which you whisk until it's this nice, smooth consistency. And that's all. These elements, and now I'm gonna answer a couple of questions. Let's go to the first one, which was, where did we meet? Mr. Smith and I met when I was in grad school, and he was an administrator, and I had to go and scan some items at his office because he had like one of the non-industrial scanners, and I was scanning like 50-year-old funereal sciences papers. I swear that's what it was. And my boss didn't want them to rip. And he bent over to plug in that copier, and it was history after that. Next question, when did you know he was the one? Honestly, on our first date, our first hug was, I don't know, there were sparks. And even to this day, you can look at our wedding video, it's so funny. Like, we barely kiss, but we hug for like 40 seconds. What are our shoe sizes? In men's, I'm a 7.5, so I guess a 9. What are you, Mr. Smith? 11. Now every time that I need to buy him a gift that's shoes, I'm gonna look back at this video. So thank you for asking that. Just 2 more. I'm gonna say first child, boy or girl, what do you guys want? I want a girl, Mr. Smith wants a boy, and we'd be happy, you know, whichever one comes along. But that is for another day. And then the last question I'll answer, would you ever consider moving to California? That's where I'm from, if you guys don't know. I grew up in San Diego, and I don't think it's in the cards at this point. We have built such a life here on the East Coast with our careers and our family, and just looking to invest in like a house in the next couple years here on the East Coast. So we might have to move more of my family and friends here because I just don't see it happening. But that's all for me. I'm gonna let Mr. Smith do his salad, and then we'll wrap up the end, and I'll mention any last things that I want you guys to know.
We're all set for our Salmon Caesar salad. For our greens, we're using a baby kale. This is not regular kale, this is much smaller, more tender. We like this better than a romaine. Romaine can be a little watery and a little bit bitter, and it also holds up really well to the dressing that we're going to be adding in. With that, we have a lemon wedge and some shredded Parmesan cheese, croutons, and some store-bought dressing. In the back on the stovetop, I have some salmon cooking up. First, we're going to add some of our Caesar dressing. It's enough to just cover up some of the greens. I always add Parmesan into our dressing and our salad. Squeeze a lemon. Croutons are in. Mix it all up nice.
Okay, who are your celebrity crushes, and who do you think my celebrity crushes are?
My celebrity crush now would be probably Olivia Munn. And hers is Idris Elba.
What's your favorite fast casual chain, and what's mine?
Mine would be Shake Shack. Hers would be, what's the taco place?
No, soups and salads and sandwiches.
Chipotle.
No. What place makes soup, salads and sandwiches?
Panera?
Yes. What's your favorite game or sport to watch and play?
Favorite sport to watch and play? Baseball.
And mine?
Nothing. Football?
I think we discovered this because once upon a time at a job, they had Kale Caesar salad with chicken, and I came home and I was like, we have to try baby kale in our future Caesar salads. And you had the idea of putting salmon in, which I love the way Mr. Smith makes salmon. It's like a crispy skin next to the soft texture of the salmon, and I absolutely love it. I mean, like, why do you think the salmon goes even better than chicken?
It's got more fat, but it's good fat and just goes really well with the hardiness of the kale.
Yeah. And then this one, I think I might have mentioned this already, but we kind of are a spinach and what's your favorite green?
Arugula.
We're like a spinach and arugula household. The only time baby kale is ever in our fridge is if we're about to make Caesar salad. So if you guys actually want to see any other kind of healthy meals from us or pseudo healthy, let us know in the comments below. Let us know what you think about these if you make them, and enjoy.
Never did a wave.
Oh. Oh, you can wave goodbye. Oh, we should have done that enjoy, and then you could have waved. That would have been cute. Stop, that's not a wave. All right, I think we're done with this one. I also want to preface this by saying, oh, I fucked up again. And healthy food, I don't like this. Start over. This is terrible.
Good.
So I was mentioning that
Here we have our baby kale. Make sure it's baby kale and not, what do we want to call big kale?
regular
Croutons and, what do we call that?
seconds. Really, with the coffee? Like, I swear to God, every time it's something and you think you don't hear it, but even I can hear it.
I'm the one listening to what's on there. I can't hear it.
Fine. Moving on. Maybe better than chicken.
Just nice of the fat from the fish. Fuck.
See? I knew that was gonna happen. You're forever ruining the video with the sound.
Eat.
That's the outro.